She put an offer in on our first home, it got accepted. I'm pulling the plug on the whole thing. So my girlfriend and I have been looking for our first house, particularly around our area. The houses are going up for a couple of days and are being snatched up right away. It's making it hard, but it's what we expected. So last Friday I receive a text from my girlfriend with a link to an expensive house, slightly out of our budget and in an area very well sought out after. She messages directly after, "I'm going to view this house." Already I'm annoyed. She's doing it without me. So I couldn't text back right away due to being in work. An hour and a half later I get another text. "I've put an offer in." Now I'm fuming. Who does this? I get she wants to move out quickly, as so do I, but you don't make a decision as big as this for me. I tell her it's not on, and I'm with the thought it won't get accepted as it was only $5,000 over the asking price. Today, Monday, I get a text. "We're homeowners." I felt sick. I have to pull the plug completely. I didn't think for a second it would. The home had over 5 viewings. All serious potential buyers. I told her it's not on. I'm not sold on the house, and it's not fair she's took that decision upon herself to decide how. She's essentially spending my savings. She doesn't understand. The house is gorgeous. Nothing needs doing to it, but I just don't like it. For the price and it being only 2 bedrooms is a big no for me. It's too expensive. There won't be money to be made if and when we come to sell for a bigger house when we start a family. She's turned this argument around and blamed it on me being in a bad mood because my job situation is a complete nightmare ATM, and it seriously got me down. I'm trying to be sensible. She's rushed into it and completely disregarded me. She's saying let's go and see it together next week. I said no. I don't want to. I don't want that house. She soon changed her tune and started to apologize about the whole thing and said she was going to ring up and decline the offer. To me, this is a huge red flag. She's disregarded my thoughts and feelings to gain a house she so desperately wants. What do I say? She's currently at a friend's wedding, so I will be speaking to her tomorrow about this. My friends all think she's out of order for doing that. And I agree. Is this a major concern for our relationship? I love her and I'm settled now. But this has seriously got me thinking. Any advice is appreciated. Thanks. That is a ludicrous decision to make without your partner's input and obviously extremely disrespectful. However, she did eventually start to listen and says she will now decline? I guess it just took her a while to realize how ridiculous she was acting. Accepted. The offer got accepted. My partner and I are house hunting, and have been since April. We are both going nuts, looking at houses that don't even check our boxes. If I read the words, split level with an in-law apartment, once more, I'm going to be sick. But, for all of that, for all of our lobbying for UGO houses that we don't even want, all of the irrational arbitrary reasons for rejecting houses, stressing over the prices, and location and heating costs and fucking pipes, neither of us have gone behind each other's backs. It would be unthinkable for either of us to make such a huge unilateral decision without input. She was wrong. But I can see her point of view. She's feeling the pressure to act fast because a house is snapped up every time you blink. She finds a gorgeous house. It's slightly out of your budget but requires no work, so you'll save money in renovation. It's small, but it's in a great area and will appreciate in value. Example thoughts she may have had. Not trying to sell you on the house. You're not answering your phone. And she knows you can't until the end of the day. She doesn't know how you feel about the house. She can either make an offer, find out later that you hate it, and rescind with no consequences, Or she could not make the offer. Find out later that you love it. But the house is already off the market. You're right. Of course. That it's too big of a decision to make without you. But ultimately it wasn't binding. She apologized. And she dealt with it herself. If your relationship is otherwise good, and she has given you no reason to believe that she doesn't respect you or is with you just to spend your money, I would call this a forgivable error in judgment. Cool thing about house buying is it takes a lot to actually get the fucking house. You have at minimum 75 steps before it's yours. So don't worry. You don't have a house. Real estate broker 10 years here. In my state there is no way that would even be a legal contract including both parties unless you signed documents as well. She could certainly buy on her own but not on your behalf unless the proper legal documents are in place. Beyond that, she just went ahead and moved forward without your consult. Red flag future. Let's get down to why you are really upset about this. 'Cause it's not about the house. How are you really feeling? Like your opinion doesn't matter? You don't count? You're not good enough? This hit a nerve with your personal lie. A lie we believe about ourselves that is not true. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Get to the bottom of that and then discuss it with her. I just feel like her doing this possibly made you feel inadequate. Let's hear it. Honestly, I can see it from both sides. I've lived in NYC and my partner absolutely has grabbed a great apartment for us with just a text to me because they knew we were both looking. It's really normal in some areas, especially large cities. However, I think there is something more. You seem resentful and stubborn. Almost like you're angry about your lack of influence and control in the situation. Which is understandable. But could it be that stress from other parts of your life are spilling over and increasing the intensity of your reaction? I would talk to my wife but also give the house a chance. It doesn't sound like she was spiteful. Just overly enthusiastic and impulsive. Although I would not put in an offer without my fiancé's go-ahead. I can understand this. I have been looking for a home for 7 months with no luck. I can see why she would go beyond your budget law. You are lucky it got accepted. Honestly. Just from experience I will tell you that if you keep getting offers rejected on houses you can afford, you are eventually going to be outpriced. So, you might want to consider this house if it's only slightly out of your budget. My thoughts after reading this. Or you need to stop looking for a new house and look for a new job. Now, I'm being serious. A lot of what you have stated doesn't seem very rational or make a great deal of sense. And it could well be due to the stress of your current work situation. And honestly, unless you are certain this situation will improve, you really don't want to be saddling yourself with a mortgage which will make your situation more hopeless and put further strain on your relationship. Honestly, I can see an argument for her side of things as well. Of course, big decisions should be made together, but after house hunting for nearly 11 months, being outbid multiple times or not making the viewing day of and missing it and having property value go from $500 for a SFH to $700 in said 11 months. My partner and I changed our tactic. I am self-employed so my schedule is flexible. I just text him the address and say, viewing, and if I need to put in an offer I do it. Of course we would prefer to do this together but it's just not in the cards right now. I know you feel hurt and your trust was broken. Those are totally normal feelings. But there is also a chance she's emotionally exhausted. Just wants this done and took a chance when she saw it. Could it have been handled better? Sure. Does this mean she's a terrible person? No. I'd ask about why she did that. Her intentions may have been good. In the UK you can pull out on the day if you feel like it. Other parties be screwed. To be honest, you are already annoyed when she's going to view this house. You can read texts at work, but not reply, okay, or, don't. Yeah, her trying to decide unilaterally is uncool. Yet at the same time I kind of understand her. The house is gorgeous but you don't like it? How many houses have you both visited and liked? How often are you unable to be involved with a house due to work? The house market is crazy right now. Unless you act fast you miss out. Even if you do act fast, you miss out. I can see her side. It's easy to fall in love with a property and just want to be impulsive and act before it's too late. The difference between waiting for you to message back whilst being busy or acting could be the difference between losing out on the house with how things are at the moment. If you're in the UK or it's anything like the UK house market. My partner was just trying to convince me to put an offer in for a house that he's fallen in love with. I haven't. I have major concerns. We haven't even viewed it for a start. It was making me feel sick. It's stressful. Thankfully, it didn't take him long to sit back and take a breather and realize it wasn't quite right for us. It sounds like she knows she was in the wrong. If your relationship is good other than this, I'd sit her down and have a serious chat to explain how you feel. Explain that unless you can work as a team when it comes to major decision, it's not going to work. Honestly, with the way the housing market is going and how often people get outbidded, she was probably excited and jumped the gun just in case it ended up being a score for both of you. And when realizing you didn't like it, apologized and realized she didn't need to do that. I think your anger is justified to an extent. But I don't think this is at all red flag behavior. In this market, you have to know what things are going for, what you want, and then snap it up. Maybe she's decisive and willing to move on her instincts, and you're more stodgy and need more time to process. Maybe just incompatible. The whole, she's out of order, and pouting thing sounds really dark and abusive. She doesn't report to you, and can do what she wants. You may not want to do the same thing, but you don't have some magical power where you get to control her. If she's smart, she's putting the offer in for her to live there and hoping you won't come along. Both of you are a massive red flag together, meaning you don't belong together. I suggest you post this in our legal advice too so you can get the facts on why you shouldn't be house buying with your girlfriend. Why does your GF have access to your savings? It's not wise to share accounts with your savings with a girlfriend. This is why. By the way, yes, you need to break up with this lady, as she makes major decisions without your input. So doing what you wanted in the end is a red flag? How is she not listening to you if you never told her you didn't like it until after the offer was accepted? You've obviously seen pictures, and you knew she was going to look at it. You know you have to rush to make an offer since houses are going fast. Blame yourself for not speaking up and stop blaming her for not reading your mind. Lol, accepted. How old are you? I guess she is just panicking and wants a house so desperately that she found herself pressured to do an offer now on the day off or it would get snatched away. I wouldn't even be surprised if though you would be over the moon happy for her accomplishment. When I was 20 I also bought a house on the spot. Very cheap. That's good, but still it was not really wise to go all in at the first viewing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.